Deep in the heart of Russia, where the vast plains give way to a formidable spine of rock and ice, lies a range shrouded in mystery and steeped in ancient lore, the Ural Mountains. And within this imposing wilderness, a particular peak stands sentinel, a silent guardian of secrets untold, Autopsy. It's a name that echoes with dread, a place whispered about in hushed tones, the Mountain of the Dead. The local Mansi people, the indigenous inhabitants of this region, have long whispered of strange, ominous forces that hold sway on its treacherous slopes, tales passed down through generations, warning of a presence that should not be disturbed. They speak of spirits and unexplained phenomena, weaving a tapestry of fear around this isolated peak. In the winter of 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers, young and ambitious, embarked on a challenging expedition to conquer this very mountain, led by the seasoned and respected 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a man known for his leadership and expertise in navigating the unforgiving terrain. They were smart, physically fit, and meticulously prepared, equipped with the best gear available at the time, and possessing a deep understanding of the challenges that lay ahead. They were ready for the brutal wilderness, confident in their abilities to withstand the harsh conditions and navigate the treacherous landscape. They knew the risks, but they were driven by a thirst for adventure and a desire to test their limits against the raw power of nature. But something on that mountain, something inexplicable and terrifying, drove them to abandon their tent in the dead of night, leaving behind their supplies and any semblance of order. They fled into the freezing night, their actions suggesting a desperate attempt to escape something unseen, something that instilled in them a primal fear. The evidence left behind at their abandoned campsite is chilling, a scene that defies logical explanation and continues to haunt those who have studied it. The tent was slashed open, violently torn from the inside as if they were trying to escape something with desperate haste. Barefoot tracks in the snow told a story of panic and flight, a desperate scramble away from the perceived threat. And the bodies of the hikers were eventually discovered scattered across the mountainside, bearing bizarre and inexplicable injuries that defied conventional explanation. The official cause of death, as determined by Soviet investigators? A compelling natural force. A vague and unsatisfying explanation that left more questions than answers. But that answer only deepened the mystery, fueling speculation and giving rise to countless theories about what truly happened on that fateful night. For over 60 years, the mystery surrounding the Dyatlov Pass incident has endured, captivating the public imagination and refusing to fade into obscurity. The Dyatlov Pass incident has baffled investigators, stymied seasoned detectives, and challenged the very limits of forensic science. It has fueled wild theories, ranging from the plausible to the utterly outlandish, each attempting to unravel the enigma of what happened to those 9 hikers. Was it a simple avalanche, a tragic accident caused by the unpredictable forces of nature? Or perhaps a freak weather event, an unforeseen confluence of meteorological factors that overwhelmed the unprepared hikers? Or was it something far more sinister, something lurking in the shadows, something that defies rational explanation? We'll delve into the lives of the hikers themselves, examining their backgrounds, their personalities, and their motivations for undertaking this perilous journey. We'll meticulously reconstruct their final days, piecing together the events that led to their untimely demise, drawing upon their diaries and personal accounts, and we'll confront the haunting scene that greeted the rescuers, the unsettling discoveries that continue to fuel the mystery to this day, from logical explanations rooted in science and natural phenomena to the outlandish theories that border on the paranormal. We'll dig deep into every conceivable possibility, exploring what could have driven 9 skilled and experienced people to their ultimate doom on the slopes of the Mountain of the Dead. The truth, elusive and fragmented, is buried somewhere beneath under decades of snow, ice, and layers upon layers of speculation and misinformation. Let's start digging and see if we can unearth the secrets that Autopsy has guarded for so long. The Dyatlov group was no band of amateurs. They weren't reckless thrill seekers or inexperienced wanderers. This was a carefully assembled team, each member possessing a unique set of skills and a shared passion for the unforgiving beauty of the Ural Mountains. They were a tight-knit team of skilled mountaineers, forged in the fires of previous expeditions and bound by a deep sense of camaraderie. They trusted each other implicitly, knowing their lives might depend on it. 8 men and 2 women, a diverse group united by their love for adventure. Mostly students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, bright minds eager to test their mettle against the elements. They were engineers, physicists, and adventurers all rolled into one. They set out to ski across the northern Urals, a challenging trek that would test their endurance and resolve. The vast snow-covered landscape stretched before them, an invitation and a threat. And Summit Otorten, a peak that loomed large in both the physical and metaphorical sense. Don't go there, as the Mansi, the indigenous people of the region, called it. A name heavy with warning, a place whispered about in hushed tones around crackling fires. Igor Dyatlov, their leader, a seasoned mountaineer with a reputation for competence and control, was known for his meticulous planning and engineering skills. He left nothing to chance, meticulously charting their course and ensuring they were equipped for every eventuality, or so he thought. Zenaida Kolmogorova and Lyudmila Dubinina, two strong and capable women who were more than just members of the team. They brought courage and spirit, a vital ingredient in the face of adversity. They were the heart of the group, keeping morale high even when the conditions were at their worst. While the rest, Doroshenko, Kolovatov, Slobodin, each man brought his own unique skills to the table. Krivonishenko and Thibaut Brignoles, a diverse mix of personalities and expertise that made them a formidable team. Each added their own strengths, creating a synergistic whole that was greater than the sum of its parts. They were a well-oiled machine, ready to tackle any challenge the mountains threw their way. Yuri Yudin, forced to turn back early due to illness, a cruel twist of fate that would spare him from the horrors to come, would be the last to see them alive. Unknowingly bidding farewell to his friends, unaware of the tragedy that awaited them. And the only survivor, forever haunted by the knowledge of what might have been. The group's journals and photos, later recovered, provide a chilling glimpse into their final days. Show a journey filled with laughter, camaraderie, and determination, a testament to the human spirit's ability to find joy even in the face of adversity. They documented their progress, meticulously recording their observations and experiences. Setbacks, the inevitable challenges that come with any expedition into the unknown, and the harsh beauty of the landscape, a constant reminder of both the allure and the danger of the wilderness. There was no hint of the terror to come, no premonition of the nightmare that awaited them on the slopes of Otorten. They were doing what they loved, embracing the challenge and reveling in the freedom of the mountains, pushing their limits together, forging bonds that would last a lifetime, or so they thought. Their adventure began with hope and excitement, a journey into the heart of the unknown, but soon it would spiral into a fight for survival, a desperate struggle against forces they could not comprehend, against an unknown force, a lurking presence that would forever shroud the Dyatlov Pass in mystery. The dread was still ahead, lurking just beyond the horizon, waiting to descend upon them with unimaginable fury. The group's diaries and photos let us trace their final days. On January 31st, they cached supplies in a valley, lightening their load for the climb. February 1st, they set out through the pass, but a snowstorm forced them off course toward Kolatsiakal's upper slopes. Dyatlov decided to camp on the exposed mountainside. An odd choice for experienced hikers. Maybe he wanted to keep their altitude, or test their skills in harsh conditions. They pitched their tent, shared a meal, and wrote a final routine diary entry, no sign of fear. Their last photo shows them setting up camp in deep snow. They even made a satirical newspaper full of jokes. But that night, something triggered a panic so intense that it shattered all logic and training. The group fled into the darkness, marking the beginning of the end. The mountain's secret was about to claim them. When the hikers missed their return date, concern grew. By February 26th, searchers found the group's tent, half buried, eerily silent. Inside, all their gear, boots and clothing left behind, as if they'd planned to return. The tent was slashed open from the inside, a desperate escape. Outside, footprints led down the slope toward the forest, some barefoot, some in socks. The idea of seasoned hikers running shoeless into a minus 30 degrees Celsius night was unthinkable. The tracks vanished under the snow with no sign of struggle or attack. It was as if they'd fled from an invisible terror. The abandoned camp, with its neat gear and slashed canvas, was a frozen snapshot of panic. The searchers faced a chilling question: what drove 9 people to run into the deadly cold? The mountain held its silence. The hunt for answers had just begun. Following the faint, disappearing footprints in the fresh snow, the search party moved deeper into the silent, snow-laden forest. Each step crunched, a stark reminder of the gravity of their mission. The tracks, a fragile thread in this vast wilderness, offered the only hope of finding the missing hikers. The urgency was palpable. Then, beneath the sprawling branches of a massive cedar tree, a somber discovery. The searchers found their first grim clue, an unsettling sign that this was more than just a group of hikers lost in the woods. It was the bodies of Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko, lying still against the snow. The scene was disturbing, a stark contrast to the pristine beauty of the winter landscape. They were nearly naked, a baffling detail in such frigid conditions, beside a small, pathetic, failed fire. The remnants of the attempt offered a glimpse into their desperate struggle against the cold. High above, broken branches suggested a desperate act. One of them had tried to climb the tree, a frantic attempt to gain a vantage point. Perhaps searching for the distant glow of the tent, a beacon of hope in the unforgiving wilderness, or simply a way to escape the immediate danger. The autopsy later revealed that both died of hypothermia, their bodies unable to withstand the brutal cold. But the question lingered, a chilling enigma. Why had they abandoned their warm clothes, their only defense against the deadly cold? What could have driven them to such a desperate act? The search continued, leading to another horrifying discovery. 3 more bodies, Igor Dyatlov, Zenaida Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin, were found. Their bodies lay scattered between the relative safety of the cedar tree and the abandoned tent, a silent testament to their desperate struggle. It appeared as if they were trying to return to the tent, retracing their steps in a desperate attempt to reach safety. They were better dressed than the first 2, offering a slight shield against the elements, but still not enough to conquer the relentless cold that gripped the mountain. Slobodin had sustained a minor skull fracture, a detail that added another layer of complexity to the unfolding mystery. Despite their efforts, all 3 ultimately succumbed to the deadly embrace of exposure, their bodies surrendering to the overwhelming cold. 5 bodies, each a victim of the unforgiving elements, painted a grim picture of a tragedy unfolding in the heart of the Ural Mountains. Yet, even with the obvious cause of death, the circumstances surrounding their demise were anything but ordinary, hinting at a deeper, more perplexing truth. The search was far from over. 4 hikers were still missing, their fates unknown, lost somewhere in the vast, white expanse. The relentless grip of winter held its secrets tight. It took 2 long months, until the arrival of the spring thaw, to finally uncover the remaining members of the group. They were discovered buried deep within a ravine, concealed beneath layers of snow and ice, a final tragic resting place. But it was the nature of their injuries revealed during the forensic examination that would truly deepen the mystery and propel the Dyatlov Pass incident into legend. The autopsy revealed horrific trauma, crushed ribs, as if subjected to immense pressure. Some suffered fractured skulls, injuries that defied easy explanation. And most disturbingly, there was evidence of severe internal trauma, injuries inflicted with incredible force, yet with no corresponding external wounds. The Dyatlov Pass incident, with its mounting questions and bizarre details, was clearly no simple tragedy, no ordinary case of hikers succumbing to the elements. It was the beginning of a legend, a chilling tale of unexplained events and unanswered questions that would continue to haunt the remote, windswept slopes of the Ural Mountains for decades to come. The avalanche theory is the most accepted explanation. A slab of snow may have crashed onto the tent, trapping and injuring the hikers. In panic, they slashed their way out and fled downhill, leaving gear behind. At the tree line, they tried to survive, but the cold was merciless. The last 4 sought shelter in a ravine where they suffered fatal injuries, but problems remain. No classic avalanche signs, undisturbed snow, and a slope not steep enough for a typical slide. The tent poles were still standing. Most puzzling, the internal injuries on the last 4 bodies were like a car crash, without external wounds. The avalanche theory fits some facts, but not all. When nature falls short, some look to the military. The Ural Mountains were a Cold War hub. Could the hikers have stumbled into a secret weapons test? A blast or shockwave could explain the panic and internal injuries. Reports of strange lights in the sky and traces of radiation fueled speculation. Some believe the hikers saw something forbidden, and a cover-up followed. But there's no proof, no records, no debris, no confirmed tests. The military theory is compelling, but built on circumstantial evidence. The truth remains elusive. Another theory blames infrasound low-frequency vibrations caused by wind over the mountain. Infrasound can trigger panic, dread, and irrational fear. A weather phenomenon called a Kármán vortex streak could have created these waves, driving the hikers into a frenzy. This explains the sudden, illogical flight from the tent, But infrasound leaves no trace and can't explain the severe injuries. It's plausible, but unproven. The mountain itself may have driven them mad, yet the puzzle remains incomplete. Decades later, the Dyatlov Pass incident still haunts us. A group of young adventurers, a remote mountain, and clues that defy explanation. Theories abound. Avalanche, military test, infrasound, even the supernatural. Each fits some facts, but none explain everything. Russian authorities reopened the case in 2019, again blaming an avalanche. But for many, that answer feels too simple. The image of barefoot hikers fleeing into a blizzard, the tent slashed from within, and the crushing injuries remain unsolved. Some mysteries resist answers. The Dyatlov Pass is now legend, a reminder that the world still holds secrets. What force could drive 9 people to run toward certain death? We may never know,